The greatest. Go. 34 years, got a lot on my chest. Seen a lot of famous people, still ain't too impressed. Let the paparazzi tell it, that's good as it gets. But good as enemy when you rock with the best. Big as the Beatles, that's a big understatement. Nobody bigger than Jesus. Put them down on my A-list. Why they popping them choppers? Trying to ball with the Lakers. I got my eyes on this roster, this here for all of his haters. He's alive, only Jesus can save us. Snatch us out of the dungeon, put us up on them scrapers. Shout the saints in Atlanta, peace to the Christians in Vegas. All the saints in the building, convinced that Christ is the greatest. Go! Look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. Look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. Undefeated champ, and he run the map. King on the throne, you can run it back. Certified boss, you can run it back. Conquering king, and he coming back. Boxing with nations, that's a drop in the bucket. Ain't concerned with your paper, cause what you profit is nothing. It's only paper from trees, it's only copper that's rusting. Whole earth is the Lord's, he sits on top the circumference. He the king, he the boss. He the king, he ain't hanging up on the cross. He's alive, that's a fact. Now homie, you do the math in this bag like look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. Look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. Everybody talking like he father time, like the man upstairs been behind the times. Father, please forgive them cause they out of line, and they don't know no better, that's the bottom line. That's why we boasting, put the world in this order. Never needed a broke cause Jesus is walking on water. That's the smallest of orders, turning water to wine. Great physician gave vision back to them boys that was blind. Man, it's blowing my mind, gave them legs to the cripple. Took a look at the ocean and split it right down the middle. Who else could die on the cross? They like, oh no, we lost him. Then he folded his clothes up and stepped up out of that coffin. Talking Jesus of Nazareth, how the people reacting. Half of them in amazement, the other half ain't attracted. Just they too into fashion, staying up on the latest. I pray they open their eyes up to see the king is the greatest. Yeah. Look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. Look at his legacy and crown him king, cause he will forever be the greatest of all time. 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 The greatest of all. I don't care what it looks like, I don't care how great the celebrities are, I don't care how big your heroes look in your eyes. There's none greater than Jesus. We go! Turn up season, back to business. True Christians don't act religious. Okay, now you can ask the question. Not much time, I'ma cast a vision based on how the world is changing. There's no such thing as a bad decision. I'ma let you be the judge. Tell me, is that fact or fiction? Another rapper sacrilegious. Man, they need to ask forgiveness. See that writing on the wall? Man, we call that vandalism. Just that skin I was born to be in. They be like, that's your opinion. I be like, that's cliche. We got that from the Europeans. First of all, they don't wanna really see the church involved. Cause we talking abstinence, why they talking birth control? They make the rules as they go along, and they blur the lines and reverse the roles. We gotta bite the bullet like Leroy. That's why I'm crying out, have mercy, Lord. I feel black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. But maybe I'm just colorblind, maybe I'm out of my mind, maybe I'm one of a kind, and we just don't see eye to eye. Maybe I done crossed the line, but it's time to draw the line. Truth is not so hard to find, truth cannot be redefined. Rockstars rock and entertain us. They speak words that penetrate us. When they talk, we stop and listen. All because they rich and famous. Culture shifting, different changes. Culture shifting, living dangerous. Universal epidemic. Don't nobody care what the scripture's saying. People so opinionated, and they think they liberated. They say let that freedom ring. I'm afraid they've been mistaken. They say truth is what you make it. They say truth is what you make it. We say that's a flat lie. Let God weigh in on the conversation. What you say? What you say? That's a mindset from a different day. All of that so 10 years ago, and they just wanna keep that picture great. So sorry to disappoint you, but I still got something to say. From love and hip hop to the Instagram pics that I post when I'm in the great field. Black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. I feel black and white in this gray world. But maybe I'm just colorblind, maybe I'm out of my mind, maybe I'm one of a kind, and we just don't see eye to eye. Maybe I done crossed the line, but it's time to draw the line. Truth is not so hard to find, truth cannot be redefined. God of heaven, he wanna teach us forever, wanna show us pleasure, and man, it's not how you measure. I ain't got the answers, I cannot ever be the standard. Standing on the rock to avoid the sands in the desert. You can think what you want, but I promise God's got the final say. We got away from truth that we used to motto like Tyra Banks. By the way, the Bible-based life is better for brighter days. A lot has changed, but I know truth is why I'm alive today.
Stars are bright.